Okay. So this is you. And we always talk about first level and second level. How many of you, can you see that in your back office?
Yes.
Laura was talking about in the library.
Yes, we have that one.
That's the one-page summary sheet.
Uh-huh.
If you have that to look at. But basically, on your first level, the way that works is it pays 9 levels deep. So you get paid 2% every month of whatever product is sold through the auto ship. Now remember, this is where you make your money on the auto ship. So the first order gets paid through Fast Start. The auto ships that get signed up is where you get paid the royalty part of it. So whatever product, then it gets through this part of it up here. So to make it simple, if it was $100 in product that was being sold, no, that's too easy. How about $1,000? If you had $1,000 in your first level directly underneath you, that could be customers or it could be a distributor, but it's product that's being sold through the auto ship. So 2% of $1,000 is what, 20? So you get paid $20 on the 15th for that. The next level underneath you, under your second level, the company pays 5%. Just to make it easy, if there was $1,000 in product going through on your second level underneath you, right? That'd be $50. Third level is 9%. Same thing, if there's $1,000 in product going through on your third level, that's $90. Okay? The company pays how many levels deep? 9, right? So the first one is 2, second one is 5, third one is 9, fourth is 5%, and it's 5% all the way to the 9th level, and you get paid 2%. Okay? Now there's some requirements in order to determine how many levels deep you get paid. Right? So, in order to get paid, a distributor, if you look at that sheet, a distributor, all you have to do is you have to have, in order to get paid as a distributor, which gets paid 2 levels deep. So they get paid 2 levels deep. Your PV, you must have a minimum of 100 for your PV, right? And that's all you have to do in order to be qualified to get paid as a distributor and get paid 2 levels deep. Okay? Now then, to be a Pro 1, okay, a Pro 1 gets paid 3 levels. All right? So that means they get that 2%, the 5, and the 9. So if they're over here, they're going to get paid 3 levels deep, right? The 9%, 5%, 2%. The requirements, if you look at that sheet, the requirements to be a Pro 1 is that, again, the PV has to have a minimum of $100, right? And now there's a requirement that you must have OV, which is overall volume. Sometimes people refer to it as GV, which would be group volume. That must be at least $1,000, and it can be in one leg. Okay? That's the requirement to be a Pro 1. You get paid 3 levels deep if you meet that requirement. You have to have at least a PV of 100, and your OV has to be of 1,000. It can be in one leg. The legs are like this. If this is you, and you sign up a distributor here, and if that distributor goes crazy and there's all kinds of people underneath them, and you only have one leg directly to you, and there's $1,000 going in business going underneath you through that one leg, you meet the requirements to be considered a Pro 1. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When we're talking about the leg?
Yes.
All right. So now let's talk about what it takes to be a Pro 2. As a Pro 2, you get paid how many levels deep? Ted, how many levels deep? Yeah, are you asking? All right, I'm going to give you a hint. Whatever your rank is, you always get paid plus 2 levels.
Okay.
So as a distributor, 0 plus 2, you get paid 2 levels deep. As a Pro 1, so 1 plus 2, you get paid 3 levels. Pro 2 plus 2 is 4, you get paid 4 levels deep. So you get paid the 2, the 5, the 9, and another 5. So as a Pro 3, you get paid 5 levels deep. As a Pro 4, you get paid 6. And it goes the same thing all the way to a 7, and then it caps out at 9 levels deep. Okay? So as a Pro 2, you get paid 4 levels. And the requirement to get paid as a Pro 2, all right, same thing, your PV, you must have a minimum of 100, right? And you have to have an overall volume of 2,500 as a Pro 2. And still can be in one leg. So if you go out and signed up one distributor that just went crazy and brought $2,500 in volume underneath you in one leg, you would still make a Pro 2 and you'd get paid 4 levels deep. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so then we're going to go faster. As a Pro 3, right, you're going to get paid 5 levels. All right, and as a Pro 3, same thing. You're required to have at least $100 in PV. But we know, even though that's the minimum requirement, in order to maximize the other ways to get paid, you know that you want to have at least 200, right? Does everybody know that? Even though I keep telling you that the minimum is 100 in order to get paid as a Pro 3, you know that you want to have 200, because again, if you have less than 200, you don't get 40% from the fast start, you only get 30, right?
Yes.
And so you don't get as much. So you want to always go for having that 200 PV. But the minimum is 100. All right? And as a Pro 3, the volume you have to have now, your overall volume, is 5,000. And now, that must come through 2 legs. So here you are over here. Here's one leg, here's a second leg. And there's a requirement on that. 80% of the 5,000 can come from one leg. So 80% of 5,000 means 4,000 could come from this leg. 1,000 would need to come from over here. So you don't even have to really be balanced. Does that make sense what I'm saying? If, for example, let's say you had 3 or 4 or 5 legs, as long as you had the 5,000, you would be fine. But this is just as a bare minimum. The most you can have that you get to count towards your rank advancement is 80% of this requirement of 5,000. So the most you can count is 4. If you had 4 legs, and this one had 2,000, this one had 1,000, and 1,000, and 1,000, all total that would be 5,000. You would be a Pro 3. Does that make sense? Okay. As a Pro 4, same thing, you're going to get paid 6 levels, right? And the requirement to get paid as a Pro 4 is that you have to have an OB of 10,000. Okay? Now, your personal volume to get paid as a Pro 4 is no longer 100, it's 200. All right? And same thing on a Pro 4, you have to have 2 legs. Okay? With a maximum of 80% in one. Okay? So if you're over here, here's 1 leg, here's 2 legs, 80% of 10, up to 8,000 PV can come from 1 leg, 2,000 has to come from another leg or 3rd or 4th leg outside of that. Maximum you can count is 8,000 towards your rank advancement. If that's the case, you get paid 6 levels deep. Now, a question for you. If you meet all the requirements to be a Pro 4, right? You have 10,000 in volume. You have 2 legs and you're balanced. But let's say, what happens if instead of having 200 in PV, let's say this is where we caution you about counting on your customers to meet that $200 requirement. Because let's say you had a $40 order, right? And let's say you had a customer, let's say you had 2 customers that were doing $80 each. 80 and 80 is 160 plus your 40, that's $200, right? With that, you would meet the requirement, you'd be fine. Well, what happens if you happen to go on vacation, Ted? And those customers, their credit card got stolen, and guess what? The bank canceled them. You come back from vacation on the 15th, and you're expecting to get paid as a Pro 4, and if the only PV you had going through was your order of $40, you don't even meet the $100 requirement. Guess what? You get paid nothing for this month. Now, what if one of them went through and it was $80 and it was for $120? The requirement is $200. Now, instead of getting paid as a Pro 4, because you have less than $200, you're going to get paid as a Pro 3. So as a Pro 3, you're only going to get paid 5 levels instead of 6 levels deep. So as a businessman, in your business, particularly as you advance, I don't want to leave that $200 to chance. So I don't leave it to customers. I always make sure that Laura and I have enough ordered every month to meet that $200 requirement. Because I want to tell you is that we know individuals, okay, that was Pro 8, Laura?
Yeah.
They were actually being paid as a Pro 8. Okay? And as a Pro 8, you also get paid generational match, and you also get paid part of the elite bonus, right? As a Pro 8. They went on vacation, guess what happened? They had exactly that happen. Some of their customers credit cards didn't go through. They had less than $200. They only had like a $100 auto ship. So instead of getting paid as a Pro 8, they got paid as a Pro 3. That $100 that they were trying to save probably cost them $30,000 or $40,000 that month. Because they got paid as a Pro 3 instead of a Pro 8. That's the importance of making sure you've got taken care of that. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
We try to make sure, again, that you understand as you grow, because the highest level you can get paid with less than $200 as an auto ship going through, as PV every month, is a Pro 3. Okay. A lot of you know Brandon Cunningham, and some of you may or may not, but he's a Pro 10 in the company.